Hey guys! So today we are going to be learning cross-sectional volume. So, what exactly is this? Well, we are going to be seeing how we can see an image through a 3D image using calculus. In order to do this, we are going to solve a problem that states that the base of a solid is the region in the first quadrant bounded by the y-axis, the graph y is equal to 7 sine 0.26x, and the horizontal line y is equal to 7. For this solid, each cross-section parallel to the x-axis is a square. So, the big question now is, what is the volume? Well, first of all, let's just try to think. What does all of this really mean? So, the first thing I thought of was the crossbeam. When looking at the shape, we can kind of see that we have a square that then leads on into the back, leading into what we can see as a new triangle base with square sections. So, the dimensions of this, one could say, are 6 feet by 6 feet for the square, and then 7 feet wide. This is important when then finding the actual integration. So, let's try to draw this out. We're going to start with our triangle base. Here we're going to have our main square cross-section that then leads into a lot of smaller cross-sections towards the back. So in the past picture, we saw that there were different dimensions for the sides. So where exactly do these dimensions fit on this image? Well, we know first of all that the area of a square is going to be equal to s squared. So s, we know, are the sides. So we're going to label this side here, the height, as s, and then also the length. This triangle is going to be going from point A to then point B. So then also we can also take note that s is now equal to y, which also leads to y being equal to 7 sine of 0.26x. So once moving on here, we can, in graphing the equations on a calculator, we can see that we have our y is equal to 7, y is equal to 7 sine 0.26x, which are all bounded by what we have here as the y-axis. So one of the most important things is figuring out what points A and point B are. These are going to be our limits. So looking at the limits, we can see that it starts at the origin with 0. And this then moves on to what we have here as the intersection, as point B, which is then 6. So with this new information, we can say that A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 6. So our last step in order to solve this problem is putting it all into the equation. So in order to find volume, we need to use the equation as integration from A to B of s squared dx. This is the information we found is the integral from 0 to 6 of 7 sine 0.26x squared dx. For this problem, we can actually use a calculator, although you can also do it by hand. It is much more efficient to do that on a calculator. And this will all then equal 20.855 feet cubed. This cube is very important because it comes from the dimensions that we had before, which were in feet, and then the squaring process. So lastly, I just like to take note that you should always leave 3 decimal places of accuracy, which then lead to a more accurate response. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope this one helped.